Hello all. Let us begin with the next topic on noisy channels. In our last class, we discussed about the noiseless channels, and we saw two protocols, that is simplest protocol and then stop and wait protocol. So we also know that stop and wait protocol, it gives us just an idea how we can add up or how we can include the flow control mechanism, but it is not going to be the ultimate solution because we don't have the noiseless channels. As we can say, in real time noiseless channels are completely in existence or they are not going to exist at all. So we discuss in this section three protocols, which will include and also tell us how to use the error control mechanisms. So along with the previously seen flow control mechanisms in stop and wait protocol, we are now trying to add the error control mechanism. So we are going to discuss about three different protocols here in this particular section. The first is stop and wait automatic repeat request, then go back and automatic repeat request, and then we have the selective repeat automatic repeat request, right? Selective repeat automatic repeat request. So now we are going to start from the very first one, that is stop and wait ARQ. So we saw already in our previous session, we are going to call this automatic repeat request as ARQ, right? So ARQ is the shortest form of your automatic repeat request. So starting from the very first one, that is stop and wait with ARQ, uh, we know that whenever we have a certain transition that is happening, like we are looking for, or we have already taken an example, like we have a sender A and there is a receiver B. We are always discussing, so far we were taking an example of unidirectional flow of data. I'm just trying to send a frame to your receiver B. So let me call this as frame, right? I'm not numbering, I'm not doing anything, this is just a frame. So this is for the request is asked to send a frame, and then we will get the acknowledgement. If acknowledgement is nothing but it is as good as it is the reply from the receiver. So we are getting a reply from the receiver stating that whatever the frame you have sent, we are getting the acknowledgement. So now if this is working fine and it has been received at the sender without any error, or without any loss of the frame or without any loss of the acknowledgement packet, then it is fine and good. But in the present scenario of noisy channels, because we always need to talk of the noisy channels, these noisy channels, they will definitely have some errors. Errors means there can be more such cases, like I am unable to, I have, though I have transmitted the file from A to B, that particular file has not yet reached B, which means we call that as lost frame, or it can be corrupted one, anything. So lost frames, they are more difficult to handle than the corrupted one. So what we need to do is, by in our previous protocols that we have discussed, there was no other way to identify the frame that is lost or the frame that has been corrupted. The received frame, it could be the correct one or the duplicate one, even that is also there in this particular cases. Whatever the file I am transferring, that file can contain error as well, right? So it can be a duplicate copy also, or it can have something out of order, being out of order based kinds of files which can reach to the destination. So the solution to all these kinds of things is, let us first try to number the frames. So let us first try to number the frames. That is, in order to say that this is my frame, we have to first start numbering the frames. And once we start numbering the frames, when the receiver receives a data frame that is out of order, it tells, or it is automatically understood by the receiver that the frame was either lost or it is duplicate. Say suppose I have sent a frame number 0, I am going to receive the acknowledgement for the frame number 0. Now instead of frame number 0, it is now frame number 1 is being transmitted to your receiver, but I am receiving an acknowledgement as 0. What does it mean? It has not yet received this particular frame 1, or this frame 1 has been lost. So there can be too many things which is happening. Instead of frame 0 here, frame 1 can go here and frame 0 can be received after a certain lag. Because of lag in the network, 0 can reach afterwards once the frame 1 is reached, right? So these out of orders has to be avoided. To avoid that, we are making use of what is so called as numbering of the frames. So now what else we do is the corrupted and lost frames which are need to be resent in this particular protocol. So actually this stop and wait is what we saw is it has to stop until it gets the acknowledgement back, or it has to stop the process of transmission to the receiver until it gets the acknowledgement back from the receiver. So that's why the name it was so called as stop and wait. Now what else is being told is error correction in stop and wait ARQ is done by keeping a copy of the sent frame and retransmitting of the frame when the timer expires. So you need to keep a track of. So now let me say this is the timer that I have set. So once I have set the timer and the timer is expired, so within that time limit the whole process has to happen, but the time after the timer has stopped we cannot transmit any further frames, which means that it will always try to keep track of whether frame 0 is sent, frame 1 is sent, frame 2 is sent. Now which all the rest of the frames that has been not yet sent and for which I have not yet received the acknowledgement back or the reply back from the receiver end. So to track all these things, we are having a timer being kept for the particular session which will be happening. And then a copy of the sent frame means if suppose I have transmitted frame 0. I have transmitted frame 0 but I have not yet received the acknowledgement for frame 0. So what I have to do? I have to wait for the acknowledgement to be sent from the receiver side towards the sender side. So if that acknowledgement has not yet been received, then if at all I have a copy and they will send a NAC now instead of acknowledgement, which is NAC stating I have not received frame 0. So then I will be retransmitting my frame number 0. Is this is how the lost frame can be retransmitted by just keeping a copy of the frame that was transmitted earlier. So this is one of the characteristics of your stop and wait ARQ, that is automatic repeat request. Automatic repeat request means automatically a negative acknowledgement will be sent, and based upon that we are going to retransmit the frame. Or if the timer expires, say let me write it here again for you guys. So we have sender A and a receiver B. I am transmitting frame 0. The acknowledgement for 0 is received. Let me say this is my timer. So here my timer is going to expire. I have transmitted frame 1 but I have not yet received the acknowledgement for frame 1. So soon after the timer is expired, I will look for my data here that I have not received the reply for frame 1. So what I will do for that, I will again start my timer and I will retransmit my frame 1. So this is what is the name automatic repeat request. Automatically the frame has to be retransmitted towards the receiver again. Then coming to one more characteristics, we have a topic or we have a new thing that has to be done here, which we call it as sequence number. Sequence number. So the protocol, it specifies that we have seen that numbering is very important for the frames. So this is done actually by making use of these kinds of sequence numbers. So a field in the frame is added, a field in the data frame is added to hold the sequence number of that particular frame, right? So then how do we add this sequence number, or what should be the type of the sequence number that is going to be taken care of is we are going to give the number. For example, if we decide that the field is m bits long, that is the data field is m bits long. So what should be the size of the sequence start and stop number is, it will start from 0, it will go up to 2 to the power of m minus 1, right, including both of them, 0 and 2 power m minus 1. So now if I have a data bit of 4 bits long, now say suppose m is 4 bits long, so it will start from 0, it will go up to 2 power 4 minus 1, that is it will go up to 15, right? So 0 to 15 I will be having the sequence number being given for the number of bits that will be transmitted from the sender end to the receiver end. So in stop and wait ARQ, we use sequence numbers to number the frames. The sequence numbers are based on modulo 2 arithmetic. Since I said m bits long, I have taken an example as m is equal to 4 and I am stating here as 0 to 15. So 0 to 15, and then here again we are mentioning it as modulo 2 arithmetic. So for the first frame it will be 0. Let me number the frames here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on so forth up to 15. So first frame is going to have the sequence number with the modulo 2 arithmetic as 0. Second will be 1. For the 2 it will be 0 and then again 1, 0, 1. This keeps on repeating, which means for the first sequence 0, frame 0, I will be having the sequence number as 0. For frame 1 I will be having the sequence number as 1. For frame 2 I will be having the sequence number as 0 again, right? So modulus of the previous 0 with 1 is going to be 0, 1 with 0 is going to be 1. So modulo 2 arithmetic we have to do, and the same thing keeps on repeating as 0, 1, 0, 1 in case of your stop and wait ARQ. Then in stop and wait ARQ, the acknowledgement number always announces its modulo 2 arithmetic, the sequence number of the next frame expected. So I said this is going to be the sequence number of the sender, that is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Say suppose for the first case I have transmitted the sequence number 0, right? The acknowledgement from the receiver would be now the modulo 2 arithmetic of 0, which is 1. Say suppose now I am transmitting 1. The acknowledgement after receiving the sequence number 1 frame is, I will be giving the acknowledgement number as ACK0, which means the next frame that I have to receive is 0. It's not going to be 1. So that is even followed in case of your acknowledgement number, which always announces the sequence number or the next frame expected to be what in terms of or in by making use of your modulo 2 arithmetic. Now we have the design of the stop and wait ARQ protocol, which is given here. You can just see it is just 1 bit transmission which is happening. We will see in further protocols we are not just going to transmit 1 bit at a time. Instead we are going to send or transmit group of bits or group of frames to the receiver terminal. So some new variables which are being seen here are present in this particular protocol are it is represented as SN here. So this SN, it means next frame to send. RN here means next frame which it has to receive, right? And then we have a sender, we have a receiver, network layer is there, data link layer is there, physical layer is there. So at the center section we are going to get the data from the network layer. At the data link layer, along with the data we are going to, along with the data, we are going to add up a sequence number as an extra part now, and then we will keep a copy or store a copy and then send that particular frame, right? So this particular frame, once it is received, it has to be extracted back, and to that frame whichever we have sent, it has to now add the acknowledgement of the next frame that it has to receive. Say suppose this is with sequence number 0, acknowledgement number would be 1 for the next frame that it has to receive, because it is modular to arithmetic. So that particular acknowledgement file is resent back to your sender, and then again it will start the same process. The next sequence number of the data frame that will go is it is going to be 1, right? And what will be the acknowledgement number that it is going to be for this sequence number 1 file? It is going to be with the number 0, right? So this process is going to happen in this particular case of stop and wait with ARQ protocol. And we can see that instead of just 2 events, we are having 3 events been occurring in this particular sender side of the stop and wait with ARQ, and 1 event at the receiver terminal, that is notification, arrival notification, right? So let us first look at what are the 3 events that are going to be present. That is request from the network layer, and then notification from the physical layer, that is the arrival notification of the acknowledgement from the receiver end towards the sender end. And then whenever we are trying to transmit the frame, we are going to always enable, or we are going to turn on the timeout process. Then at the receiver side, we have a notification from the physical layer of the sender side being stating that there is an arrival of the frame from the sender towards the receiver, and then the algorithm will be enabled. So now let us look at that particular algorithm, how it is going to work for us. So what is the algorithm it is going to state us is, the algorithm is having again 2 sections like we saw in the previous case. It is going to have sender side algorithm as well as the receiver side algorithm. So sender side, as we had already taken a look at, like we are having 3 events, we have to run all the 3 events, and again it is a pseudocode, right? So the frame 0 should be sent first. So for that, what is the SN value? Frame which has to be sent first will be given with a number as SN, which is equal to 0. And now when the frame is ready, you can send it and set the can send to true. Allow the first request to go. Then while this can send is true, what we should do? We should wait for the request to send, and we should also have a true statement for our can send. Then alone we can just transmit the file. So when both of these conditions are satisfied, if both of them are satisfied, then get the data, make the frame with the sequence number SN, store that frame SN. Why storing? Because if we lose that frame, we have to retransmit. So that is why one extra line is added here, that is store the frame SN and then send that particular frame with the sequence number SN, start the timer. Once you send that frame, you have to start the timer, and then you have to set the frame number for the next frame as SN is equal to SN plus 1. This is modular to arithmetic addition which is going to happen, and then soon you have to set this particular can send as 0. So the can send, when it is not 0, can send as false. As soon as you set the can send as false, we cannot enable this particular process of transmitting the next frame, right? So now the next thing is we have to wait for the event. Which event? We need to get the notification, right? As it is a stop and wait protocol, we have stopped for the next sequence or the next frame movement. We are now waiting for the arrival notification. If that arrival notification comes, or if that event happens, then we have to receive the frame with the acknowledgement number. And if not corrupted and acknowledgement number is equal to SN, so the new SN is going to be what? 0 plus 1, which is modulo 2 arithmetic of 0 plus 1 is 1. So if that new acknowledgement number is 1, then the stop timer has to occur and purge the frame s minus 1. So you can see we have Sn, we have Sn plus 1 and S of Sn minus 1. This Sn minus 1 is the last frame that we have sent, which a stored copy will be there with us, right? So that has to be discarded now. So that is what for purge frame Sn minus 1, and now we have to enable this scan send to be true. And while this process happen within our time limit, then it is fine, or else we have to start the timer and resend the frame Sn minus 1, right? So the commands are there just beside the pseudocodes that are present. It is very easily understandable. Then now at the receiver side, we have to receive the next copy, which is 0. Frame 0 expected to arrive first, correct? So frame 0 was sent from the sender side, frame 0 has to be received at the receiver side. So now the value of Rn is 0. While this is true, arrival notification has to occur at the physical layer and then receive that frame. If once the frame is received, we also need to check for the corrupted frame or it is a error free frame. So to look for that, we are now going to look at the if corrupted frame, if the frame that we have received is corrupted, sleep for certain time. Why we have to make this sleep for certain time? So that timeout will occur and the sender will retransmit the frame again, right? So now if sequence number is equal to Rn, that is a valid data frame which I was expecting and I got the same thing. Then extract the data, deliver the data to the network layer of the receiver end, and then now what is the next thing that I have to receive? It is Rn. Rn was 0 now, so 0 plus 1, what will be the new file that I have to receive? It is 1. So send the frame Rn. So send the frame with the acknowledgement number 1. ACK1 will be sent. So this is how your stop and wait with ARQ is going to work for us in also recovering the corrupted frame, or in also it helps us in recovering the lost frame with one addition of having a sequence number, or with one addition of making the sequence number to be present within the protocol. So now let us also look at some of the examples of these particular stop and wait ARQ. So we have an example here below, that is frame 0 is sent and acknowledged, frame 1 is lost and resent after timeout. The resent frame 1 is acknowledged and the timer stops. Frame 0 is sent and acknowledged, but the acknowledgement is lost. Once we are going to lose the frame, so after the timeout interval, the frame is resent back. And for the next case, frame 0 is sent but the acknowledgement is lost, right? The sender has no idea if the frame or the acknowledgement is lost. So after the timeout, it resends frame 0 which is acknowledged, right? So just look at this case. This we actually call it as a flow chart for your, or the flow diagram for the example that is previously given. So we have a sender, we have a receiver, and the request, you can see here sequences like the first sequence number to be sent is 0, then we have 1, then 0, 1, 0, 1. These are the frames which we have to transmit, and there is a start timer, there is a stop timer. So you can see now there is the Sn with the 0 value, that is frame 0 is transmitted to the receiver end. So now the receiver will move to its next bit, stating the next bit that I have to receive is 1. So ACK1 will be sent back to the sender. So the sender, it wants to transmit Sn, but meanwhile it receives or the timer stops. So what it will do is, now it will start from Sn as 1 itself. So the frame 1 is transmitted. But what happens? The receiver is not going to receive the frame 1, it is lost. So the timeout, again it will restart. So once it restarts, SN value will be 1 now. This is timeout event which is occurring. SN is 1 now. Frame 1 is resent. The next bit that it has to receive is act 0. It is sent back. That is arrival is 0 now. So this is one event where frame 1 is lost and it is resent after the timeout, right? We have another case here where we are sending a request to transmit SN or with a frame with a sequence number 0, and after the transmission the receiver is stating we have to receive an packet with the number sequence number 1, but that acknowledgement is lost now. So we cannot in between transmit on our own the frame 0. We have to always wait until the time is out. So once the time is out, the timer will restart again and then we can retransmit the file that has been lost. Right? Once the frame is transmitted, again we are going to receive the acknowledgement. So this is a flow diagram stating when the frame is lost, what has to be done. When the acknowledgement is lost, what has to be done. For either the frame being lost or for acknowledgement being lost, we have to always wait until the timer is up or the timeout event occurs, right? Then we have slightly a different example here. So we have to assume that in a stop and wait protocol, that is with ARQ system, the bandwidth of the line is 1 Mbps. It is being told the bandwidth of the channel is 1 megabits per second and 1 bit takes 20 milliseconds to make a round trip. What is this 1 bit takes 20 milliseconds to make a round trip means to go towards or reach towards the receiver from the sender side, it is going to take how much amount of time? It is going to take 20 milliseconds. Then what is the bandwidth delay product? So bandwidth delay product is something very essential whenever we are going to discuss about the channel in particular. So that is where we are also going to look into this particular example, why this bandwidth delay product is very essential. So if the system data frames are 1000 bits in length, what is the utilization percentage of the link, right? So if I have 1000 bits of frames which has to be sent, then what is the usage of the link I have to tell, right? So the bandwidth delay product is going to tell us bandwidth multiplied with delay is going to give us the bandwidth delay product. So I'm having 1 bit which takes 20 milliseconds. So what is the bandwidth that is given for us? So for 1 bit, the bandwidth that is given is 1 Mbps. So it is 1 cross 10 power 6 into delay is how much? 20 milliseconds. 20 into 10 power minus 3, which is 20,000 bits. So we have the bandwidth delay product as 20,000 bits. So let us further continue with the same example. The system can send how many bits now? With 1 Mbps of the bandwidth allowed, it can transmit 20,000 bits during the time it takes for the data to go from the sender to receiver and then back again from receiver to sender. So only for 1 bit it is actually we are trying to waste a very huge bandwidth, wherein we are having a capability of transmitting 20,000 bits, right? So now they have given another scenario where they want to transmit 1000 bits. We can just say the link utilization is 1000 by 20,000 or 5% of the link is being used, or out of the channel which has the capacity of transmitting. So I have a channel with a capacity of transmitting 20,000 bits, 20k bits. So out of this, somewhere I am just transmitting 1000 of it. I am wasting the rest of the portion of the bandwidth, right? So that is for this reason, for a link with a high bandwidth or long delay, the use of stop and wait ARQ wastes the capacity of the link. So whenever we are trying to make use of stop and wait ARQ, it is actually going to waste the capacity of the whole of the link that is available for us. So then let us also look at another example. What is the utilization percentage of the link in our with respect to our previous example? If we have a protocol that can send up to 15 frames before stopping and worrying about the acknowledgements, right? Now there is no need for stop, there is no need for wait, it is just simply keep on transmitting the frames. Then the bandwidth delay product, we still know that it is 20,000 bits and the system can send up to 15 frames, or one frame is of 1000 bits, so 15 frames is going to be of 15,000 bits during a round trip time. This means the utilization is 15,000 by 20,000, which is 75% of the channel is being used, or the link is being used. So what we can conclude here is, if there are damaged frames, the utilization percentage is much less because frames have to be resent. Of course, that is one of the case which is available, but what else we can also see is, we have to always try to transmit more number of frames instead of just transmitting one frame, right? So if there is damage, it is definitely going to be a worrisome, and which is being addressed by our next upcoming protocols. So that is why always a bandwidth delay product has to be taken care of, and the utilization of that channel or utilization of the available bandwidth is very much important whenever it comes for a particular channel with a high utilization facilities given for us. So that's about the stop and wait protocol with ARQ. So in the next class, we will be discussing about the go back in ARQ. Thank you all. Stay safe.